Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 182, the Blink 182 episode, apparently.
Blink
right?
182.
Yeah.
And starting the month of 420.
It's for 2020.
Yes.
And we all have to stay home. What are we going to do when we're staying home?
I'm doing it right now, buddy.
Well, guys. Snaps, welcome back.
Good to be back, bud.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
The bud thing was a deliberate pun that was very subtle. I should have really emphasized it. Bud. Get it?
Bud.
John Watts shirt.
I'm prepared.
There's a certain theme with the color. Actually, there's several themes with colors going on.
Several
with the camera.
Yes.
Money.
Did you
We're
notice
all
it
about
too,
that
across
money.
all of us?
Yeah. Some interesting thematic colorization going on
It's a little,
here.
it's a little, foresty,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
gardeny.
Mm-hmm.
Briar
But
looks
also
like
lively and spring-like.
Briar looks questionable in the park. I don't know. Maybe I could talk to him about something. Maybe we should stay away.
Definitely. Social distancing right
All
now
the
is very
above.
important. I think it's important to stay looking as menacing as possible
That's a good point. Yeah.
so that nobody approaches you.
Yeah.
True.
You want to up your thug status, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. Well,
You're pulling it off very well.
how's everyone doing? How's the week been?
Boring,
Thursday?
I'll be honest. I am so ready for quarantining to be over. I just want to see people again.
I see people right now. Look at there's all these faces near my face.
We're hanging out.
And,
We're having a
there's
party.
people looking back at us and stuff. I see you. Get your hand out of your pants. I see you out there.
Internet
Come on,
population.
Timmy. That's ridiculous. Not the place, Tim.
Oh man.
I've been playing a lot of video games, honestly, which has been great.
Mhm.
I even went so far as to find an old CRT monitor on Craigslist
Really?
and set up an old tube television in my office, which has been interesting.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
That's
Can't play Destiny on it though.
thing.
Can you get an adapter to play Destiny?
For probably yes, but you'd be playing in some kind of weird widescreen mode on a 4x3 TV.
That just adds to the
Sounds
effect.
great.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. That adds to the experience, the CRT experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, man.
Oh
The
my
dude
God.
abides.
The dude abides.
Legitimately, though, seeing you look like this is joyful for me because I have very few things hanging up in my house, and one of the things is legit a poster of the dude.
The dude.
It's a classic.
Who doesn't want to have that temperament, right?
Yeah.
Right?
True.
The funny thing about the dude, though, is if you watch that movie, in every scene, he ends up yelling at John Goodman. John Goodman is going to piss off the dude in every scene of that movie that they're together.
But he
Mhm.
shakes it off fast. He's very
He does.
resilient.
He
And then
does.
he's got himself a nice bevy and a doobie, and he's good, man.
Yeah. He's got the PTSD stress, man. You can't blame him. Yeah.
Walter?
I don't know my doobie.
Yeah.
Is that his
Oh,
name?
God,
Walter?
yes.
I think it's
Yeah,
Walt.
Walter.
True.
And Donnie. Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Now
Like
it's
a child
time.
wanders
God damn
in
it,
the middle
Donnie.
of the room.
Oh,
Oh, I
man.
love that movie. What a treat.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is a classic. Well,
Yeah.
so yeah. Anything else going on?
So,
Aside from, it's it. It's quarantining, right?
getting groceries is a longer process. Get them delivered to the house, and you gotta spray them all down or wipe them down. Disinfect
Have you
them.
ventured to a store?
No,
Yeah, it's strict staying away.
no. I haven't. Okay, so I left the house to go to the vet, but besides that, I haven't actually gone anywhere since February.
Good for
Okay.
you.
What the fuck? Really?
Full
You spent
wait.
all of March in your house?
Yeah,
You didn't even have to run out to get milk or something?
no.
Delivery.
No, delivery.
Grocery delivery really is very convenient, but it does. I feel you with like how it's such a chore now because it feels like everything that comes in is radioactive, and I'm like,
Yes.
hurry up and like, ooh, hold it
I
away
take
from
it outside, and I'm like,
Yep.
we unbox everything outside, take it to the trash right away, throw it away, disinfect everything,
Yep.
bring it in. Yeah.
I took my wife over to a COVID testing center. What day is today? I think it was on Monday. And we pulled up, and they come to your window, but they say like 6 feet away from your window because they don't want to get your COVID.
Obviously.
Right?
Yeah.
I said I had one to drop off, and nobody thought it was funny except for me. I laughed hysterically. Everybody else was like not entertained at all.
I wonder if they get that joke a lot, and that's why.
Yeah, maybe. Right?
They're like 10th time today, dude.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, oh, this doesn't have a barcode. That means it's free, right? And they're like, ha 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 ha. I'll kill you.
But they put a cotton swab up my wife's nose.
Ooh, God.
Surprisingly far. Like I thought it was a magic trick. Like it was going to disappear in there
Yeah.
and never come
I
back
saw
out.
I've seen the
pictures
images
of how they do it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it actually hurt quite a bit.
I can imagine.
I can, yeah.
They're shoving like, what, 4 inches into your nose? Like,
At least 4.
yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, you shove 4 inches of anything anywhere, and you're gonna be aware of it.
Especially up your nose.
It's like that
Is it an
scene.
especially though? Is it an especially?
I don't know. Honestly, my experience with this is rather limited.
It's
Yeah, I'm
like
just
on that
guessing
Total
we're
Recall.
not a
Liar.
sinner.
Remember that scene in Total Recall when he's like yanking the thing out of the nose? The like the,
Oh, yeah,
the
the
tracker.
big
It's like
tracker.
goes all the way through, and you're like, that can't be possible, right? It can't be that far deep. And then people are getting these tests. You're like, damn, I guess the sinuses go that deep.
Right? I had no
Yeah.
idea. Like I first of all, I thought it would go up more, but it really goes straight up in there. Like
Yeah.
right down deep.
Yeah.
It was
That's strange.
impressive.
You know,
and
your
terrifying.
smelling glands back there, right? So it's like getting it all the
Sure.
way back there.
As far as I know.
The taste
Sure,
and smell,
yeah,
it's all
maybe.
connected back there, man, right? That's what they're swabbing.
Absolutely.
How come you don't know this, Dr. Dude? What the hell?
Don't you need
Dude,
to have
MD.
a basic medical license to become a cop? Stefan?
I wouldn't know nothing about that.
Mhm.
Not a damn
Not
thing.
just in case.
Oh man. Well, we've ventured both to the store and also ordered online. The ordering online is kind of nerve-wracking because you're like, oh, I can order some stuff, You get everything there. Like, I'm ready to check out, and then it's like, no dates available. You just wasted half an hour shopping. I'm like,
Oh, they don't have any delivery dates available.
everybody's
so-
taking
Oh,
up the
that's a
delivery
bummer.
times.
I have to actually have an Amazon cart ready to go. And then I think it was 2 a.m. I checked to see if they had a slot, and I was able to get a slot at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
to be able to deliver like the
Wow.
day or 2 days later.
Yeah, it's funny. My mom gave me that hot tip. She's like, yeah, what you got to
Mhm.
do is look at it at midnight. And I was like, oh, of course, because it just flipped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, I did
resets
that
at
on
midnight?
Tuesday. On Tuesday evening, like after stream, I was placing an order because I looked and it said that they wouldn't be able to deliver until probably today or tomorrow.
Mhm.
So I was like, whatever, first available. But I did it like kind of late at night, and they fucking delivered that night.
Whoa.
I
Wow.
actually got someone right away.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
It was really weird.
Yeah, I kind of, that's creepy a little bit. Be like,
It worked out well. She was really nice. Like, I was grateful to have all my stuff, but I was almost a little bit off put. Like, wait a minute. I was
Like,
like
huh?
mentally prepared for later in the week. Now I have to like get ready for this whole process of bringing in.
yeah, the whole
tainted goods.
sanitization thing where
Mhm.
you can't just bring the groceries in. You have to have
Mm-mm.
a process involved. Like Watts, you were talking about, you got to sanitize everything. And then once it's
Yep.
gone through clearance, then I have like a sanitization area in the entry for any kind of boxes that show up. So
Smart.
I'm like, this box has to sit here for at least 24, possibly 48 hours.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really? You don't just like
leave it.
wipe it down with alcohol or something?
If
I
need
like to leave it
get
in
right
the
away.
basement, honestly. Yeah, if I need something in it, I get it. Otherwise, same thing. It's like, let's take this into
If
the
I bring it out of the
basement.
basement, though, my kids might get into it, and that's not gonna be good.
Ooh.
Fortunately, I don't have any kids.
Then they're gonna get
and-
swabbed in the thing, 4 inches deep into the
Don't touch
nose.
this. You're going to get swabbed. Don't touch it.
That's
I
like-
mean, that's honestly that's like a good sex tip too. Like,
Yeah.
be cautious about the things you touch, or else you might have to get swabbed. And if you want to know where that Q-tip goes.
Yeah, they need to cut together a teaser trailer of the most awful swabbings possible, of like tons of people just gonna be like, oh god, you know. And then they show up to the beach. You're like, what are you assholes doing here? Watch this video. This is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Dr. Pimple Popper videos, except
Oh.
just like swabs.
Yikes.
My wife loves watching those. I can't. That make me like.
I wouldn't say I love watching them, but I am very fascinated. Like if I see it, I'm gonna stop and be like, "Oh, what's up, buddy? Gross."
Oh, thank you.
So nasty. I love it.
Has anybody had any scares in the family? Like anybody getting sick? Everybody staying pretty healthy? That good?
Luckily for me, no.
Yeah,
My
that's good.
mom, I think, might have honestly already had it.
Really?
Wow.
But
And she
before
recovered already?
everything, yeah. And my mom's 80, and she has emphysema, and she has been through some shit. And like she was very sick, maybe a couple of weeks before everything started kind of getting shut down, like feverish, really bad headaches, like the whole thing. And I think they told her it was pneumonia, which is a very common, like, you know, it kind of hangs out with it.
Yep.
So she was pretty fucked up for a minute, and she's good now. So I'm like, I think
Dodge
like
a
we're
bullet.
good. You just gotta like you stay the fuck home now and stay away from people, and we're good.
Yeah. That stuff is scary. My sister came down with they don't know for sure yet, because like the testing is 60% accurate, which is even more nerve-wracking with this stuff. So if you do get tested, there's a 60% chance it's correct. And so you're thinking, well,
that's not good enough.
That's not high enough.
That's not a passing grade.
And it takes
grade.
like a week. She had to wait an entire week to even get the result back. And she tested negative for it, but she also tested negative for the flu, and she had chills, hard time breathing. She's a virologist, so she knows about this stuff, and she was making like this crazy concoction of vitamin C that's like fat absorbable, some super fancy vitamin C that is using a machine to make like fat soluble vitamin C type of thing. So she was pounding, I think, like 30,000 every day of that stuff.
Damn.
Vitamin C.
Jesus.
And well, she's recovering now, but she got really sick for like basically 10 days. She was really sick, but she was doing this stuff.
The life cycle of it seems to be so brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was also in,
too.
she was in the UC Davis hospital area, which was one of the first cases here in Sacramento. So she works there, and first patient came there, and the doctors and all that. So, yeah.
Wow.
Scary stuff, right?
It's very scary. Yeah.
We're all fucked.
Unless we stay home.
Stay on
I feel bad.
play some Animal Crossing. Get a tea party together with your friends on a deserted island.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. And for everyone who just listened to all of that and is just like, oh great, I was already stressed, and thank you for the reminder and all the additional stress. Take a few deep breaths right now, bud.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna get through this. We're all in this together.
I haven't jumped into Animal Crossing yet, but I've been really close.
Dude,
Yeah.
everyone is injecting Animal Crossing right now. Everyone.
That's true.
I've been embracing the apocalypse with Doom.
I haven't had a chance to play that
I already beat it, and I'm sad.
I'm preparing for the inevitable.
yet.
Should we talk a little Destiny or what?
Let's do it.
Oh,
Or
we
just
could.
keep talking about COVID, because we could do that all night.
True. We could.
We can talk about how beautiful you are all night. About how great you look in that awesome dude outfit.
My wife calls this a drug rug, but I don't think she knows what a
Drug rug?
is.
Drug rug?
Yeah, drug rugs. Do you guys remember drug rugs from the 90s? They're like those canvas. They were like canvas sweatshirts with
Yeah.
like a big pocket in the front.
Baja jackets.
Yes.
Yep.
This is like an updated
I
poncho
fucking
or
love
something?
those. Honestly, I would like one of those right now because they're cozy as fuck.
Huh.
Same. I was thinking about going and buying one.
Well, you got time. Why don't you just learn how to make one?
There you go. Learn how to sew, Briar.
Mm.
The least you could do is make a mask. Come on, man. Right?
Right? I have a mask. It's right here.
You make a few more.
Was it last week's show that I wore the mask?
Yes. That was great. Yeah, but like what? So there's controversy with cheating and hacking that's going on in Trials.
Oh yes.
Anything, but before we dive into that type of stuff, is there anything going on this week that was new?
Not this week. No, it was last week we got the moon bunker. And then
Right.
this week, yeah, I don't think anything new has been added to the game.
Yeah, next week we get the Seraph Tower event. Well, that's
On
March
IO.
10th. So
On IO, yeah.
Yeah, which is the last
And that's when
bunker.
we can get the hand cannon, which I'm actually really excited about.
What archetype is it?
I think it's the 180.
Oh, 180 kinetic or energy?
I don't remember.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Some people already have it. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to be able to have like a heavy machine gun and a hand cannon to make war mine cells with. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's a kinetic, apparently.
It's kinetic. Okay. Kinetic 180?
Oh yeah, that's right. The newest thing to the game. The cat petting emote. That came in.
What?
Do you have to pay for it through Eververse?
Right now you do, yes.
Right now, which means you'll
But I
have
think it's gonna
not
be
enough bright dust 3 months down the road to buy it.
It's that was a new thing. You sit in the chair, you spin around slowly, petting cat.
Ooh,
That's
I
great.
Like that.
It's pretty fantastic.
does it feel like bright dust is getting rarer and rarer as we go along? Like, do you think they're just going to phase out bright dust entirely for the store?
I don't think they're going to phase it out, but they definitely it's a very strict economy right now, and there's no way of really grinding for it. Like you can do the 10 at a time, but that takes forever, absolutely forever, and you have to do a lot of bounties every week on all 3 characters.
Yes.
Yes.
It used to be
Yes.
when they first introduced bright dust. It used to be you just kind of earned it as you played. Like you didn't really have to think about it too much. You just kind of got it, and anything you did would always give you some. But now I feel like it's very slow to come.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. It's definitely hard.
I do wonder, like, if they'll just like kill it off entirely, and like the store will be just a silver-based store.
Barry, why are you depressing me with these thoughts right now? Why are you doing this to me, Briar?
Sorry.
Yeah, basically there was
420.
Woo! Hooray!
I think that's all that's going on. There is some stuff in the TWAB, but it's not super interesting. They talk a little bit about giving the kind of tracking stuff back, and that's coming with 2.8.1. It's a long list. I'm not going to read through it all, but it's on the TWAB if you want to take a look.
Okay.
Not everything is coming back that was taken away, but a lot of it is.
Nice.
Yeah. The biggest thing in TWAB, honestly, was talking about cheating that is happening in Trials.
So
Yeah.
what
does
is
it say
happening?
about it? What are they doing?
Brian,
Yep.
you want to take it? Do we want to delve into it?
Sure.
This is the topic of the week, basically.
Well, let's
It is the
introduce it
topic.
a little bit because you guys played
Yes.
some Trials.
Oh, I
this
can
weekend.
talk about it. I could talk about some
Mhm.
cheaterinos.
Let's hear about it.
Absolutely. So I can pretty safely say that every single Trials card I played had one cheater in it at least.
I would agree. Like
It's on the
honestly,
same
it was
guy?
everywhere.
Like for sure. And I'm not someone who, someone hits a good shot and I'm like, oh, they're aimbotting. Oh my God. Definitely
No,
not.
agreed. Like they got a good
Definitely
shot.
not.
Fuck yeah, go them.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this is someone where if you have the feeling that if you move out of cover, you are dead, no matter which way you go, no matter which angle you go from, whether you switch it up every round, and they are headshotting you not only with snipers, but with auto rifles. And then you look them up and they have 90+ accuracy on
Yeah.
auto rifles and snipers.
Have you considered the fact that they have G Fuel inspired underwear?
See, I did think about that. But then
You did?
teammate, I did, and they thought about it. You don't know what these kids
Did
are
you
doing.
go and order some to test?
No.
We need empirical data here.
Damn, you got me all fucked up now. Little did I know there was a way to get good the whole time.
I didn't know that I could take something to where I can just headshot someone
Real
no matter where
gamer
they are,
underwear.
no matter what, no matter what,
Wow.
no matter what. But so the one that was so obvious, because some people aren't as obvious as others, but this person was, so when my teammate died and he was watching the person who was aimbotting or wall hacking, whatever you want to call it, maybe both, maybe all of them, and he was telling us to move, and he was like, he is tracking you guys through walls perfectly. he could see him just aiming at the wall, following us exactly where we were going.
That seems like it'd be pretty easy to prove. It's like you can easily record a video of that, like even like at a standard, like whatever you're using.
Yeah.
Send that to Bungie. It seems like so easy to prove, especially in trials when you got that view of like other people.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
But man, you're
is.
seeing it so much though. You're doing so that like every card, every time, maybe every few rounds. Like it really was wild. And like Watts was saying, like I don't really give a fuck. I'm just there to fuck around and have fun. But I want like good matches. I want to actually like play against a person.
Yep.
And some of these shots, it's like, look, man, I've seen some real fucking good people play. I do not agree with that. Disagree. Like, just no.
Yeah, so, I've played against a lot of really good people. None of them are better than these people that I came across.
Exactly.
Not even close.
There was
they weren't cheating.
I can't remember what night, but somebody had brought up that there is a person on the, I don't know if they're banned yet. Hopefully they are, but they apparently had a 3,500 KD.
Whoa.
Like 99% accuracy on snipers, and their KD was 3,500. It was like, I mean,
geez, it seems like there should be like a red flag that just kind of like pops off. Like if somebody's like accuracy gets above like a certain level, like, oh, we should see if this guy's cheating. Like there should be a red flag.
Yeah, for
in the
real.
system.
That really does seem like something to pay close attention to. But like, how easy is it for them to go through and actually boot people? Like
super easy as far as I know.
Is that is it just that quick? Like we have a video and it's done.
I know. So I know that obviously you can report in game, but I think the best way to report, if you have video, if you have all of that, is to for sure go to the form on the Bungie website to report them, because then you can attach post-game carnage, so you can see their KD, how many kills they got, all of that. You can attach a video clip to show exactly what they were doing, and that way it makes it, they don't even really have to investigate that far, right? Because they can see everything right in front of them. So anything you can add.
Not to be a downer on an already downer subject on that, but the fact that if I have to go through the hoops of like basically doing administrative work to prove someone is cheating like that, like that's such a deterrence. I mean,
I know
the typical gamer is just like, all right, whatever, the guy's cheating, screw it. We'll go on to another game or play another card or play another game. Yeah. But I feel like it's a small percentage that are going to be like, that's it, asshole. I'm going to go and report you and you're going to get banned. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very demoralizing because, of course there's going to be good teams that you come across in trials that you lose to legitimately. But when
those are usually fun games.
They're fun, exactly. Like it's a good time. And I'm like, okay, they beat me because they were just playing better as a team. And it's very demoralizing to play all of that through a card, beat people who are really good. Then the final game, you come across someone who's cheating.
Yeah.
So demoralizing. And that's when I was like,
that's the word. That's the word we've all been using this week in like talking about trials. Is just like, I'm still playing it. I'm still having a good time. But it definitely it sinks in with a lot of people where you're like, man, why? I guess. Fuck.
This was the third weekend of trials. Is that right?
Third weekend. Yes.
And it seems like it's pervasive, like it's very prevalent. It's everywhere because everybody I know is talking about it.
Yeah, all over Twitter.
Everybody I know,
Yeah.
It is very prevalent. And it's people will try using an aimbot in trials because they're like, and a lot of people are doing carries for money, so they're using the aimbot to get through it faster. And then people are like, oh, I'll just use this is really good. I'm not getting detected. I'm just gonna go use it everywhere. So it spreads across to all PvP.
So this is literally what I was talking about before trials got released. I was saying the problem is it's not that people are going to have access to these tools. It's that the recovs are going to see how much money they could make for other people not to have to deal with this stuff. And then they're going to go with the quickest route, which is instead of DDoSing, now it's use an aimbot to have like a 99% accuracy with 3,500 KD. Right. I mean, that's insane, right? So,
and if they get caught, they could just start a new account, or
if the recuv gets caught, it doesn't matter because it's not their account. It doesn't matter, They got their money. Yeah. And it's like, well, you bought a recuv. What are you going to like file a better bureau investigation? Better business bureau?
Exactly. Yep. And it's like, you know, it's even if they get banned on an account that they were using that was like their account. I've actually heard that you can buy a 960 account for $5. 960 ready to go.
$5?
Yeah.
How
$5?
like, how is that worth it to anybody? Who's building an account up to 960?
Right?
And then selling it for $5.
960. It's gotta be.
Where in the world does this
So I
make
can
sense
imagine
economically?
if I am someone doing carries, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of those accounts. I'm gonna aimbot on them or do whatever hack I want to, and just keep pumping out, getting all the money because they're making a lot more than $5 for their carry.
Yeah, the carries are going to be like anywhere from $40 to $80 or something like that. And
when I used to look at that back in the day at Destiny 1, it was like $100 or more.
Wow.
So it's funny. There was actually an ad on one of my videos advertising a full Trials armor set for $400.
Yeah, I totally bought that. I am looking good.
Do you want me to take that ad down, Watts? I should have asked you. My bad.
I don't approve.
It's funny too. It wasn't that long ago that I started kind of seeing like a shift in the community. Like, hey, recovs aren't that bad. I used to do recovs. Like is this real? Like, are we as a community like okay with recovs? No, I don't think we should be. This is a bad activity.
It's when the recovs are affecting the core gameplay, and using hacks and cheats it's demoralizing. That is the purest emotion you can get from it. You feel demoralized going through a trials card, and then somebody's just aimbotting. Like you can't step outside the corner because boom, instant death.
And it's not just the recovs that are doing it. I think that regular people are doing it too because it's so easy to do. Right?
It's so easy.
Like, you know what I'm gonna do tonight? Because I'm bored. I'm gonna just like sit at, I've already got my wins on my card. I'm just gonna sit in trials, fucking up everybody's good time with two of my buddies in this aimbot, and we're gonna laugh our way to, to whatever.
It's a real problem, and it's too bad because that first weekend I thought was fantastic and really fun.
I was so excited, and I'm still, like I was saying, I still have fun with it, man, but.
Yeah, same.
I just like kind of let go of all expectation of actually hitting the lighthouse because we like between the beaver errors, the hacks, and
disconnects,
some weird sketchy shit. Yeah, like, and some random hard light spammer kind of shit. Like it was just all right. I'm just hoping to run into those teams that are gonna give me a good match again. Like I missed that side of it. So if I have to play 8 rounds in order to get one of those real sweaty matches again, where I'm leaned forward in my seat, like all excited, I'll take it.
So
is this only a PC problem?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. So the silver lining seems to be that this is unaffected on console because obviously the ability to hack and cheat on console is way reduced. It's still possible because you can.
But they're still dealing with DDoS attacks. Right? On the console?
Yes.
Yes.
Which I'd imagine
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, but
start getting rid of my consoles.
To do that on console, there's still a few more barriers. So at least it's not like, a Google search and then suddenly you install the program and you're hacking already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's exactly how it is.
Well, I mean, you have to have the hardware set up to pull the IP addresses on console.
Yeah, you need a computer.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still there's at least one technical barrier outside of just installing an application.
Listen, I think I can settle this. I've seen the movie Hackers once.
So you're pretty much an expert.
Exactly. I know how to hack the planet. If this is a Cookie Monster virus type cookie, just start there.
Excellent.
If that's an issue.
Well, I think we solved it.
You're welcome. Got you, buds.
So
got you, buds.
I'm actually going to be playing Trials on PlayStation tomorrow.
And is this because of all the hacking?
Switch over?
It's because of it. Because I spent Friday through Monday. I came across the same wall hack aimbot guy twice in 2 different cards. And it was at the point where it's like, I really enjoy Trials as a game. Like I enjoy the experience. I was having a lot of fun. Burning Shrine, so much fun. It was great. And if it means that I can go to console and have that experience, then I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try it out.
Did you all go into week 1 fully powered up, strong as hell?
I was
in your power level.
I was pretty leveled. I was like 1,000.
I was pretty leveled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was nowhere near that. So, like, the demoralizing thing for me has been going since week 1, which made me sad because Burning Shrine was, like, my shit.
Yeah.
But that game, I was just getting stomped on because I was so underleveled.
Yeah.
So there's good news. Bungie is looking at it, but there's bad news in that it seems like it's going to take quite a while to fix this. Like some things are just in the we're having early conversations about this phase.
That is definitely a bit of a yikes. Reading that, it doesn't seem like there's any real solution that they got cooked, and it's going to be a while.
Yeah, which is disappointing.
See, there's one thing that I would really like to see them do on PC is there's something on Steam called a Vac Ban. So it's a Valve anti-cheat ban. So you have been detected of using some type of cheat somewhere, like playing CSGO, playing whatever. And you will have
any
this
kind of cheat.
Exactly. And you will have a Vac ban on your account. I would like it if Bungie could talk to Steam and make it to where you can't play Destiny if you have a Vac ban.
How does a Vac ban work? Like, does it detect your machine ID? Because like,
I don't know.
Does it work
if you're cheating, I would imagine you'd use a VPN to stay away from IP bans, right?
Yeah, and that doesn't solve logging into someone else's account and then cheating.
No, it definitely doesn't solve everything. But honestly, we are never going to solve everything. It is going to be impossible to solve everything unless we somehow manage to have, like, I don't know, Battle.net work with Bungie again on anti-cheat, because their anti-cheat is very, 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 very strict. But it would cut down something, at least. You need to put as many barriers in place to try and stop people from doing it.
Yeah, it's really too bad because in Blizzard, people would get kicked out of Overwatch mid-match as soon as they started cheating.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
That's rad.
They were like, "Oh, I'm cheating, aimbotting," and all of a sudden you're banned. It's like, that quick, huh?
Yeah, their thing is, but so saying that though, Warzone right now, which is a Call of Duty game, which is on Battle.net, is plagued with cheaters.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Interesting. Well, it still comes down to the developer to implement the tools that they have available to them and adjust how strict it is. Because I'd imagine Bungie probably has the ability to look at some of the finer details and be like, well, yeah, that KD and percentage accuracy is suspicious, but they probably haven't. They're not willing to like put in the auto ability in there to say, hey, man, this is BS.
Yeah.
Like they want to review it on a count by count basis.
It's a little surprising to me because it seems like they got caught on their back foot on this too, because like we were fretting about it for months when like it was rumored that Trials of Osiris was going to come out and we knew it was going to be on PC. We're like,
between the hacking and cheating, DDoSing, and the loot, we were like, this is the the cornerstone problems that we're looking at. Like the sandbox has issues, but it's still fun to play. But outside of that, man, like, and it looks like 2 of those are problems still.
I'm going to go through the list of things that they're going to address. Our anti-cheat is not as visible by design as some security products. However, we regularly detect and remove thousands of malicious accounts from the PvP ecosystem. On the front lines, we continue to implement new anti-cheat improvements during patch releases. We don't include these in patch notes for obvious reasons and are always investigating new approaches as cheat developers adapt to our latest tech. Many of the cheats you find in the wild already have detections and countermeasures deployed or are in development, with work being done constantly to keep them updated against new threats. Because the cheat developers don't stop, we know we have to keep working to improve these systems. This is a tricky line to walk as we don't want to punish any innocent players that may consistently have high stats due to extreme skill, game bugs, or game logic exploits, which Bungie considers our fault. Do you guys remember early on in Destiny 2's lifespan on PC, people were getting banned because they were using screen recording software?
Yeah, the direct inject to capture the screen.
Yep.
We are working with our platform partners to identify which ways in which we can further strengthen our security. We are investigating ways in which we can let you know when your reports will have resulted in a permanent ban or temporary restriction. That would be helpful, to be honest.
I think that would be great.
Being heard.
Yeah, because right now there's this obviously big perception of PC is riddled with cheaters. Cheaters every game. It's terrible. It's awful. It would be really nice to at least know that if you report somebody that something happened to them, because then you could go on social media instead of just being like, well, I reported them, we'll see what happens. You could actually say, oh, this person got banned. Hell yeah. So and when you're just reporting and you don't know for sure if this person gets banned or not, it feels bad. It doesn't feel
Or
good.
if the email inbox is even being read, you know, did I just send this to some like account that nobody ever monitors? Like, who knows? So to get feedback would be good.
Yeah.
You know, and it affects every part of the game. Like, even when you're not against cheaters and you feel like you got beat, like you didn't deserve it. Oh, the fucking cheaters everywhere. I can't stand this game. You know, like once you know there are cheaters in the game, like every player you come against is questionable.
Yeah, it definitely makes you suspicious of a lot of things that shouldn't be suspicious when you're playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really too bad.
There are instructions on how to report suspected cheating in the TWAB. There's a link in the TWAB, and then it tells you what information you want to give in that link.
So I want to bring this up again. I said earlier, I'm going to say it again because I think it's important to signify the fact that it seems like a lot of their anti-cheat right now is hinged upon player reports. I mean, they said that they have some detections in place, but you see the same cheaters going on. Like you multiple games or multiple cards ran at the same cheaters. You got this person with like a huge KD that's seemingly impossible. And yet you have to do the administrative work to actually go through and report somebody and send a Twitch timestamp or upload a YouTube video. I just self-policing the game is just not going to make those guys go away. It's only going to be a percentage that's going to fix that. And then a large portion is just going to run rampant still.
Yeah, I mean, based on how often you guys are seeing the same people, the same cheaters, you know, Watts saw the same guy in a lobby twice. Like, I would have suspect that the player population of trials has already been reduced somewhat.
It's been reduced a lot, actually.
Yeah.
On PC,
it kind of feels that way. Yeah.
Right?
And like that's only going to be more drastic. And on a season built on Trials of Osiris, that's not a good look.
It is oh my God. This is unfortunate. Like, I don't want to go back to console. I really don't, because
I don't either.
Field of view, frames, but mostly field of view. The field of view is what makes it claustrophobic and make you feel nauseous. The frames, after an hour, you can get used to 30 FPS. But that field of view, man, it's rough. You feel like you're stuck in a box.
I actually played today, and so when I was going from 60 FPS to 30, there's a lot of things I didn't notice. But going from 160 plus frames to 30, and the field of view 105 to whatever console is at, you can tell so many different things. Like when you kill someone, there's a slight delay because you're not getting feedback as fast.
Yep.
You have it's harder to do fine adjustments in your aim because you're so close. So it's harder to do like the really small adjustments. And I came away feeling a little nauseous, a little bit of a headache.
I do not like that.
And and something crazy that I noticed is the difference between when you can shotgun someone or melee them on PC and console is insane.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be so close to them to melee them or shotgun them on console. Which, you could say, maybe it's sort of a good thing. I'm not getting meleeed across the map. But it's definitely something you have to adjust to if you're wanting to melee and shotgun. So I'm going to see what it's like playing PS4 Trials tomorrow, see how it goes. I don't like playing D2 on 30 FPS and 70 field of view.
Well, the good news is in November, you'll be able to play it on the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5.
Well, unconfirmed.
So you only got to wait till November, Watts. You're good.
Rumor.
God, I hope so.
We don't know for sure if that's going to happen. Here's hoping.
True enough. I'm basically just making that up.
And also coronavirus delays. So you never know.
Yeah.
What's this? Coronavirus? Never heard of it. So yeah, I mean, cheating sucks, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. So get used to it.
Well,
that's kind of the message I'm getting. Is like, it is what it is.
Like, I hope you have all the gear you wanted, because
I'm probably just gonna get my armor and then just play for fun, not care about flawless or anything at all. Just like, play. Oh, there's a cheater. All right, let's just die and go back again.
Mhm.
It definitely ruins the fun for people who like made their weekends like out of Trials of Osiris. Like a lot of people, not just streamers either. Like a lot of people like to just play Trials of Osiris all weekend. Like that was the most fun part of Destiny 2. And if it's just riddled with cheaters, like yeah, you got some options. You can go back to console if that's an option, or you know.
I don't wanna.
That's how I feel.
It's rough.
I don't
It
want to
is rough to
vomit.
get used to.
I'm just gonna keep fucking around in it. Like I hope that a bunch of people are listening, and like a good chunk of them just happen to be those botters, and they're listening, and they're gonna be like, you know what? I take pity on these poor folks. They just want to play this game. I'll stop doing this. Next week, play Trials. It's just amazing. All because of you guys. You've done it. Good job. Problem solved.
You're welcome. What else is going on this week? There's not a lot in the TWAB really to talk about.
TWAB's pretty light,
No.
yeah. Oh, they did mention that they recognize that the loot for the lighthouse also is suboptimal. They're hearing.
They did,
you know, they said like, okay, we understand going flawless is not as exciting as it could be, and they also said it's going to take some time to figure this out because they definitely want to reward people's experience from all levels, whether you just jumping in for the first game or going all the way flawless. And it's definitely lopsided right now.
You know what I am happy about? I'm happy that they came out this quickly to say, look, we know that there's a problem and we're talking about how to fix it. Because normally we would go months without even knowing that they're talking about it or that they have heard what we're saying at all. So I am happy to hear that, you know, we're going to get some changes quickly. We're going to get some other changes. It's going to take a while. They are enabling rejoin, which is nice. You're going to be able to rejoin in Trials. So that's at least something in regards to error codes and stuff like that.
Rejoin wasn't enabled in Trials of Osiris?
No,
isn't that why it was invented in the first place?
So they said, we've been investigating an issue that prevented us from enabling rejoin options when Trials first launched. The short version, a player's score could reset if that player left and rejoins the match. Since we've resolved this issue, we are currently planning to enable rejoin in update 2.8.1.
Dope.
I could have sworn that's why they enabled, or they kind of made rejoin in the first place in Destiny 1 was because of Trials of Osiris. Is that you'd get kicked off your card for like some kind of weird error, and then you could reboot and you'd go right back into your match and join your team back up.
It sounds about right. I don't know for sure, but it probably was. And apparently it got broken, so they took it out. And then this patch, they put it back in because they had fixed it, supposedly.
Well, I'm glad they're fixing it. I'm glad it's coming back in. The gear stuff is completely like anybody could have seen this coming. And the fact that they had, Trials looking gear in the Eververse store, I'm surprised they're mentioning this in a TWAB because like you must have known like this couldn't have come as a surprise that people weren't going to be happy with the gear. Like you had the winning formula in Destiny 1 with the adapt weapons. Why wouldn't you just do it?
They even have the perk, Celerity.
They have the perk, yeah.
Salary. That should be intrinsic on lighthouse weapons.
Like that's a completely predictable issue. And,
I think things that I would personally like to see change that I don't know how difficult or easy these would be. I'm sure some could be done fairly easily. Is I would like to see tokens just get rid of them and instead have Saint sell bounties like they did in D1, where you could just complete those bounties in Trials and you would get some gear. You didn't have to win 5, you didn't have to win 7 or 3 or whatever. You could just chip away at that bounty so you could get something. That way, if you're not that confident of a player, you could I'm going to go and I'm going to get my shotgun. I'm going to work towards it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a good change.
I need a bounty for get sniped 10 times without ever seeing the guy who sniped me.
Finish that.
It's called The Matrix.
I want to see that change because it's incentivizing both sides, right? You need to incentivize people to get in the playlist to play and keep the population going. You also need to incentivize people going flawless. So they need to add like exotics to the flawless chest, just like you can farm the Nightfall. You should be able to do that because the Trials ticket takes a lot longer than a Nightfall. So you should be able to at least get that exotic drop, and then add those bounties so people can get something for investing all their time.
It's so weird. It's so weird. You have to hit 3 wins in order to be able to spend those tokens.
I know.
Like, you're just kicking out a huge portion of the lower end that's just going to be like, it's not worth it, so I'm not even going to try. So now your population is just slowly creeping to more and more hardcore.
Especially if you're losing to cheaters the whole time. Like that is going to be incredibly frustrating because you got all these tokens that you can't spend because other people are cheating. Like, and I spent 8 hours playing Destiny and I got nothing for it because I got cheated out of it, and that feels like shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that could be a game over for people. Like, I mean, I don't play Destiny anymore because it's filled with cheaters and like they're literally robbing my gear from me.
Yeah, when it fundamentally feels flawed with that, because you don't want to have to install a freaking aimbot to compete. That's not fun. That's not what the game is about. So when you feel like you're going up against people that you have to do something like that to be successful, you're just gonna stop. You're not gonna play it. And once you've been burnt, it's gonna take a lot for you to come back. And this is the second time being burnt technically, because Trials of 9 was like, they shelved it. A year and a half later, we come back excited for Trials, and the Lighthouse loot is lackluster, and cheating on PC is a big problem. Yikes, man.
Yikes, indeed.
Yeah.
It's going to be a yikes for me, dog.
I'm so sad.
real
It's
yikers,
actually
man.
fun.
Yeah, right. That's the biggest upsetting part about it, Watts, is the game mode itself is super fun. People are super psyched about to have it back, and the meta is good. Like, it's fun to play in Trials right now, except it's there's these issues that are ruining the fun.
I'm telling you, the first week was fantastic. Then it was just the Lighthouse cards where I noticed some sketchiness that was starting to happen, some stretch connections, and every now and then I was like, oh, somebody might be a little too accurate there, but whatever. That first weekend I was like, man, I can't wait to play Trials again. Then an anomaly came and I was like, what is this? And then everybody on Twitter just, yikes.
I was watching Fran. I was rooting for Fran. He's been trying all weekend to get his flawless run. And they finally got a card where they were winning past like 4 or 5 games. They're like, this is the one. Number 7, they come against a hacker who had instant res.
Better gaming chair.
Come on.
He had a better gaming chair. He had the
he had the 2020
the gaming
edition.
chairs make you run faster, man.
I thought they gave you better aim.
No, it makes it.
Oh, maybe that's the.
I got this chair. If I go outside and I do like sprints and stuff, even IRL, I run faster.
Really?
No.
I'm gonna return these Nikes because didn't snort enough G Fuel.
It's the G Fuel underwear. You got to have the G Fuel Crocs. You got to have a better gaming chair. All these things.
Definitely the Crocs. That's what we need. We need gamer Crocs.
Yeah,
it's important in these times of crisis to spend all your money on worthless shit.
Oh my God.
You need to do your duty to fuel the economy.
Yeah. People got to buy Ferraris, right? They're not going to keep making them if people stop buying them.
That's where our focus should be. We're real concerned about those poor Ferraris.
Oh, man. That's great. Well, now that we're bitched and moaned about Trials.
Right?
What's next?
What's after the bitching and complaining? I honestly don't know.
Right now. The Grandmaster Ordeal is coming up, but not until the end of April.
That's like the 21st,
have you guys been enjoying the PvE side stuff?
Honestly, this season is really kind of hit or miss. Like, if you haven't played a lot, then it's great because you get to catch up on all that stuff. But if you have played a lot, you kind of you're a little oversaturated on bounties. Just everything's bounties. Bounties. And done right, it can still be decent, but I don't know. It's between Trials being filled with hackers and cheaters and the PvE side just kind of being mostly bounties with a few twists here and there. I don't know. It's been mixed.
I'll be honest. My drive to play Destiny is at an all-time low right now. Like I'm really looking forward to like the next big thing in Destiny because what they're giving me right now is not really scratching any itches, and the competition for my gameplay time is so high, you know, like with Doom and Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Resident Evil 4 coming out and Last of Us right around the corner, Last of Us 2 right around the corner. Like
Well,
yeah.
About that.
But you know, like my time is just like there's just so much calling for my time. It's hard to say, well, I'm gonna run some bounties in Destiny today. And it makes me worry, you know, I'm expecting there to be a raid in the next season. I'm hoping there's gonna be a raid in the next season. But I think there's going to be a pretty significant grind session before that raid to get up to a light level.
You're going to have master bounties and then grandmaster bounties.
That's true.
Do they give me an exotic?
They give you exotic golf balls. They give you golf balls. 1 in 10 chance.
You know, like, do you guys like? Are you guys kind of looking forward to the next DLC, or are you happy with what we got here? Like, what
I'm always excited.
Like, what are you
about
hoping
next,
for?
I'm always excited about the next big expansion for Destiny because new content from Destiny is always exciting. It's never not been exciting for me. The seasonal content, it's like it's nice that there's something to do, but it's definitely not stoking the fires of my desire to grind in the game. I thought Trials was going to do that, but the ecosystem for it in PvP is really rough right now on PC. So I feel like that's casting quite a big shadow of like, in my motivation for it.
Anybody else?
I've enjoyed this season. Like, I really like the Warmind cells, and you know, the public event, I can hop in and have a good time doing it. I spend most of my time playing Crucible though, so not much has really changed when it comes to Crucible stuff. Besides, I was able, like, this week for me was actually kind of exciting because I was able to use Raiju's harness and actually mess around with that, which we weren't able to do before. So
Was that fun?
It's kind of
cool?
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. So before, when you were blocking on Middle Tree Arcstrider, your super just disappeared instantly. It was just gone. Whereas now it's actually viable to block. And when you cancel your super, that's awesome. Because, you know, a lot of the time you might want to just block. Maybe there's a super coming at you and you want to just block the golden gun shots and they just shoot all 6 at you or something. And then you're really far away from everyone. So you want to cancel your super. And it works really well. So I think that exotic is really fun.
Nice.
So glad I was able to mess around with it.
I've just been messing around in PvP. I'm like pretty much always the last person that you want to go to for anything related to this, which is why I love being on your podcast so much. Because every time I'm like, oh, is that a thing? Wow, that's nice. Look at all this stuff. Yeah, like the last time I heard Grandmaster, the word Kush was after it, but this is fun. But like, no, legit, all I do is I fuck around and then I hop into Destiny and I just want something that feels good to be aggressive with. So I've been fucking around a lot with like hand cannon, shotgun, just running through. And I have fun with it. I don't take anything seriously. We kind of just joke around about it in chat. Like, I'm playing a broken game. This is my version of PvE because I'm playing PvP, but sometimes the game kind of dicks me. I have fun with it though. Yeah. But like, I don't know anything about any of the things here. Like, I forget my gun names sometimes now because like it really has lost that overall luster for me that had me like in it, actually paying attention, doing PvE and like knowing how to do things. Like, my friend runs all my stuff for me so that I can just hop on and fuck around.
What's his email address? I could
What's his PayPal? What's his rates?
Man, Dopa is the man. This guy, and of course, it's funny too because
he's organic, right? Non-GMO, no aim hacks.
Yes, no aim hack. No, man, he's just a grinder. He's just like he and a bunch of people from the community wanted me to start doing trials on PS4 way back when I first started streaming, and I was like, I don't have time to fucking start another character, get it up to this level, maintain 2 different accounts, do all this stuff. So he offered to do it and then just like kept going. So he's been running my account like pretty much entirely for years now, and it's so amazing, and I'm so grateful because all this stuff, it sounds like a whole thing. Everyone's all so upset, and I'm just like, I like this gun now. I shoot a bunch of people with it.
So I gotta ask you though, like when you get your account back and you start playing, like, are you overwhelmed by like all the shit that's there now? And like, it must feel weird to like suddenly have this account that like has all this stuff on it, but you don't really know anything about the stuff because
it's funny because like he'll text me when I'm getting ready to get on for the first time after he's done a bunch of grinding, and he'll be like, okay, here's what's new and what they do, and just do me a favor and try, and he'll emphasize try because I'm stubborn. Try the loadout I gave you, and I'll be like, all right, fuck it. So he'll just like throw different hand cannons on because he knows I'm like all about hand cannons, vary between different shotguns and snipers and stuff. And I'll give it a shot. I'm like, all right, yeah, fuck it. I like this.
A whole debriefing. That's awesome.
It's really it's so fucking nice. I really acknowledge like the extreme privilege of that. Like I am so grateful because I see how much work it takes to get characters up, and I'm like, I forget what my light level even is. It's definitely over 1,000, and it happened way faster than I would have ever been able to do it. Yeah.
Interesting.
So you're welcome for all that awesome feedback on the game and doing. Sometimes I pay attention to my streaks in Mayhem to see how I'm doing with that. Sometimes at the end of a game, I can tell if I won it or lost it. Most of the time, I'm literally just talking to chat and just trying to kill things.
But what's interesting though is that you're not really interested in the PvE side, and I feel like that's partly a symptom of what we're experiencing right now with the seasonal content. It's that it's just for a lot of people, it's not very engaging. There is definitely a portion of the population that is enjoying the content and is all about it, and not to discount that at all. And again, I think it's better to have something as opposed to nothing going on in the game for the seasonal content. But by and large, I think a lot of the Destiny population is kind of like, I guess I'll do this.
Yeah.
Like when a better game comes out at the time, they're playing the new content of a better game at the moment. I don't mean better game in sense of like, oh, well, this game is clearly better than Destiny or something like that. I'm just saying fresher content. When a new story game comes out, like Doom Eternal, you're going to play that because it's exciting and new, but you're not going to grind Doom Eternal for weeks or months or
I got
years.
words about Doom Eternal too, Tefty. I can't wait for side quests because I got to talk. I got to get some shit out.
Words.
Are those angry words, Briar?
Well, yeah, there's some angry words in there.
Ooh, I want to see Briar's angry words against Tefty's.
Did you beat
pure
Nightmare?
love?
I'll talk about it on side quest every Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday. We'll be talking about that.
Eastern.
Monday at 1 p.m.
Sounds good.
You guys want to do some Twitter questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. JS90 says, my question for Snaps is, what made her want to start bringing a large focus on advocating for mental health to her content?
I started to feel better. That was pretty much what it was. Like I was miserable for almost my entire life. I went from feeling like nothing to feeling like shit, basically. And when I finally started to feel better through like my own actions and intentions through the shit I was working on, I was like, holy fuck. It turns out you don't have to stay feeling terrible. It turns out there's a lot of options, even for those of us who don't have many resources like outside of ourselves available to us. There's a lot we can do for ourselves. And like, fuck, man, like you see it. You're online all the time. People are hurting. Like this is not even in the midst of this pandemic, like just overall, everyone's just covering up all these different things that hurt, that they think are like terrible about them, and trying to fill it with everything else. And it kind of breaks my heart. So I just like, I couldn't sit by anymore. I used to talk about mental health from the perspective of like, I know how you feel. I'm here for you as like a fellow person who hates life and wishes it was nicer to us. And then I just felt like I owed it to people to take it that step further and be like, so turns out there's a lot we can do for ourselves to help bring some balance about our lives and release some of the like guilt and shame and just like self-loathing that so many of us are carrying around with us. fuck, man, you deserve to be able to take a deep breath without the weight of whatever, however many years you've been alive on your back, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's cool.
Brian says, I've been having a rough few weeks with bad anxiety attacks. I've been reaching out to a bunch of people I know to talk to about this, but at the end of the night, I end up blanking out completely. Is there any advice that y'all can give about this? Hope I'm not alone in this. You're definitely not alone, Brian.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
A little bit. Not nearly as much as other people though.
Panic attacks or anything?
When bad stuff is going down, I react to stuff in an extreme way. But yeah, I know people are living with really, really bad anxiety.
This is pretty cliche, but right after I got married, I started having panic attacks bad enough to send me to the hospital thinking I was having a heart attack.
Jeez.
Man.
You know, like pretty cliche, you know, I just got married. All of a sudden there's all this responsibility and I didn't know how to handle it, but I've been there and it's not fun.
No, that's brutal. It sucks so much because you feel like you're at war with yourself a little bit too, because you know you're trying to like talk yourself out of it while also simultaneously talking yourself into this like awful frenzied state. I went to the hospital over a panic attack once too. Like they were showing me my oxygen levels. Like, listen, you can breathe, dude. And I'm like, no, fuck you. You are not hearing me when I say I can't breathe. Not paying attention to the fact that I was breathing in order to say that, and that they were showing me a machine that says like, look, you are oxygenated. It was all lies. Like, nope, I'm not breathing. Your shit's wrong.
That's fascinating. Is there breathing techniques that people can focus on and develop? Like, obviously, if in the middle of that stuff, you're not going to suddenly be like bust out a pamphlet and go through a step process to know exactly what you need to do for your techniques. But I'd imagine that if you're susceptible to anxiety and panic attacks, you can go through the motions like I mean, if you want to do meditation or just strictly breathing exercises that really focus your mind, because breathing is something that puts you in the moment. Like when you full deep breaths, you know? So when you're transforming your energy in your mind of thinking you are right here, right now, because of the breath that you're taking in for however much time you're spending on those breathing techniques, I feel like that's part of the thing that helps center you. Because it's that lack of center and not knowing what's going on, feeling like you're spiraling out of control, right?
Yeah, and I think like breathing exercises are great. Like honestly, you can just like look a lot of those up, friends, and see plenty of different options available to you. Try some out, see how they feel. Learning how to just take deep breaths from your diaphragm, like that's important in general because a lot of us are breathing very shallow, like all the time. Learning how to like really oxygenate your body does make a difference in terms of how you feel for sure. In terms of my own experience with anxiety, having that reactive approach in this moment, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to focus on my breath. I'm going to try to do grounding exercises, whatever. Like that's a wonderful plan. Absolutely. You got to have that, like in case of emergency, break the glass, do these things. But I think one of the things that we neglect to do is the very proactive approach when it comes to managing anxiety. And it's essentially the same approach that we should all be taking to keep ourselves relatively in balance on a daily basis anyway. Pay more attention to what's going on in your mind and body. Get yourself into a healthy routine where you're paying attention to the whole package. Because if you're doing a good job, and we have an acronym for this, SHADES: sleep, hydration, air, like go outside, diet, exercise, and stillness. And the outside one, I know right now we're in a certain time that this is a challenging thing, but you know, physically distanced, it is still an option. Go get some fresh air, go for a short walk. It's worth it. Even just stand outside of your door and take some deep breaths. But if you're kind of doing that whole thing, you're giving yourself, your body, and your brain their best ability to feel good and not be weighed down by at least all of these little distractions. Being too tired, having stomach aches, having headaches from being dehydrated, being completely unfocused in a fog because you just haven't really equipped yourself for this. So those are really important. Anxiety is an issue of ruminating thought. The more aware of your thoughts you can become, the more often you can be aware of those thoughts, the more likely you are to catch the first anxious thought. And you see that thought come in and you can notice it, accept it, analyze it, do whatever you want with it, and then let it go and refocus yourself. So that was the big key for me to finally be free of anxiety, is bringing as much awareness as I could into every moment of my day. That's why like mindfulness practice is my shit now, because it's just crazy how much your life changes when you start looking at it all the time. How much more freedom you have to change things in a big way from these tiny little moments of like, that's an anxious thought, but I don't have to be anxious. I'm going to take a few deep breaths and do something else.
Yeah. It's fascinating knowing how much control you truly have in the moments versus giving up a lot of your control because you think it's not possible. But the reality is you always have just this moment. Everybody has just the moment, not what they're thinking about in the past or the future. This moment. That's what you have all the time.
Yep. That's it, man. How do you feel in this moment? If it's not great, what can you do? What are some options you can take? How can you refocus? How can you do something for your mind or your body or for someone else?
It's a good time to be thinking about other people. That can make you very happy, right? It's like going out of your way to help somebody else who maybe isn't having a great time. And right now there's a ton of those people out there, whether it's, you know, helping them get something that they couldn't get on their own, or, you know, even sending some people some cash right now is super helpful.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of people there just don't have any money because they got laid off. You know, if you got a couple extra bucks that you can send to a buddy, you know, like reach out, like ask, you know, hey man, how you doing? You doing all right? You gonna make rent?
Yep. Yeah, if you're in a position where you can help, this is the time. Helpers, stand up.
And if you need help,
we definitely
ask.
need you.
You know, your friends will help you if they can. They will. Ask, and they're not gonna make you feel shitty about it because everybody's having a rough go of it right now.
Yeah, for real.
Mad Car Scientist says, do you feel like some of the criticism toward Destiny and Bungie on Reddit and Twitter is warranted, or do you think it's a case of mob mentality?
I think it's one of those things where it's mixed, you know, like I think a lot of it's warranted. I mean, we as a community, we had said many times about how Trials was going to be received if there was a lot of hacking and cheating, and if the lighthouse loot was lackluster. It's like there's going to be these problems, you know, even when it comes down to networking and like ping and latency and all that stuff. And here we are. Here we are.
I think criticism in general is always warranted, right? Like if you put something out there for people to play with, like people are going to have some thoughts on it. So criticism, yeah, always. But the way that it's phrased and framed and the way that people talk to other people, like that's not warranted.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, especially having been to one of the Bungie summits, like when they first started doing them, and being way more invested in the game at that time, I wasn't like, oh, what's a gun? I'm glad you have me here for my opinions, you know? But like, I remember being there and talking to everyone and seeing the way that they cared and seeing the way that they would explain things like, okay, so this thing that you really want changed, here's why this isn't as simple as you think. Here's all of this that would change. And here's all these other little things that would get fucked up. So it really opened my eyes to like a lot more of the challenges that they face and gave me the opportunity to see just how like passionate and nice everyone is at Bungie. So like criticism always, just like, can y'all tone it down, friends? Come on. These are people working at a business.
There's a way to get ignored, and then there's a way to get your point across. And if you come across as a belligerent asshole, you're going to get ignored. It doesn't matter the topic, you know? If you got your arm bleeding and you're a belligerent asshole, you're going to get attended to not as quickly because you're being an asshole. Like you need to learn how to communicate and frame things correctly. But in terms of mob mentality, this happens too, for sure. And I think one thing that's kind of happening is the whole 3-peaking stuff. Like I get it. It's annoying, but it's been in Destiny forever. And suddenly now we're like, this is the worst thing ever. It's like, no, the hacking and cheating is a huge problem, and the lackluster rewards is a problem with that too. The 3-peaking, it's a nuisance.
I was surprised by all the commentary on that too, and I was wondering if I had missed something, if like 3BP had somehow changed in some way, like they got an extra somehow view. I don't know, because I saw all the complaints and I was like, has this not always been a thing?
Yeah, I'm like, we're playing Destiny, right? This has been since like year one.
I do think that, like in cases like that, there's kind of a. This is kind of fucked up to say. There's like second generation of YouTubers that are now like the Destiny guys who they weren't complaining about this stuff in Destiny 1 because they didn't have an audience. Now they do have an audience. You know, so like some of the issues that we talked about on this podcast 3 years ago are fresh topics. If that makes sense. And I'm not like trying to like, you know, that's just how it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Makes sense.
There is
the mob mentality though can be fucked up because like you get a lot of people who just read the headline and then decide they're mad about this thing, and then you ask one follow-up question and they have no idea where to go from there. Like, well, we should get rid of tokens. Oh yeah, why? Because this YouTuber said we should. Like, oh okay.
I heard someone say it, and I'm sad because I didn't get the thing I wanted. So here's the thing I'm mad at now.
Yeah, there's definitely a mob mentality.
Yeah.
Like, explain to me the backup behind your argument. Yeah,
it's like life. There's always gray area. You know, the truth is always somewhere in between the extremes.
Peachy Keen 88 said, "Would any of you like to see Rift come to Destiny 2? Because I miss ball hogging and slamming it in backwards to do extra points."
Hell yes.
Dirty comment of the week right here.
Absolutely dirty. And absolutely I miss it.
Man.
Hell yeah. I never played Rift your way, but I'm down.
I wasn't that big into Rift. I never got like hooked on it. I saw so many people that loved it. I'm not sure what the deal was. I'm down to give it another shot if it comes back. But like, I don't know. It wasn't one of those things for me. I see you guys got all excited and now I'm like, I want that. I want to feel that.
I like being excited about stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun.
You're excited.
It was fun because it changed the pace of combat for just regular casual games. You know, you had Control, and Control was great, obviously. Then you had Clash, and then you had Rift, and Rift just like, it was an interesting take on it. And Destiny doesn't have a lot of those different takes of 6v6.
I only liked it when I was playing with a team. You know, like we just like it felt like a football game all of a sudden. You know, you're just running around, like having fun with your friends. Yeah. It was fun that way.
When you took out the runner, like you got extra points. It was awesome. And also the runner couldn't hold on to it for too long, otherwise they blow up. Those were the days. There's a lot of people though that do not like Rift, and that's interesting. I think that's another one of those things where I'm like,
who are those people? Send me their names.
I heard it a lot, especially when it was Iron Banner.
Iron Banner. Come on, Iron Banner. Then you throw in a good game mode like Rift. Nobody wants that.
Sparty for you says, totally stole this, but would Trials benefit from a rounds 1 based system reward? This lets the lower skilled players still get rewards by playing more and removes token farming. Put a pinnacle reward at 35 rounds 1, and that will keep plenty playing. This kind of is a little bit like what Watts was saying.
But doing it through bounties instead of just changing the whole card system. I think we can leave the card system being the same if they add something into the game for you to be able to go into trials and work towards something, which is exactly what we had in D1. So I feel like they could just look at what they had in D1 with the bounties and do it again.
It's fucking crazy how they nailed trials like right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because anytime they've made a change to it, I feel like it's always for the worse.
Yeah.
They got to evolve, man. Got to evolve that experience.
Dave Mullen says, can you think of any change they made to trials that like improved it?
Switching sides.
Yes, that was definitely one. Absolutely. You're right.
Switching sides.
Dave Mullen says, I know a lot of people want a new enemy, but those all-powerful darkness ships must be going to the tower first with how long they've been traveling. People assume that Siva will make a comeback this season. How would you guys feel if it is a limb of Savathun with Taken Siva?
A limb? Of
Taken
A
Savathun?
limb of Savathun with Taken Siva. I don't see how that would happen because Siva is.
I don't
like a
even
human
understand these
creation,
words.
isn't it?
I'm not sure if I'm having a stroke right now or what.
We're gonna have to phone a friend. Life.
This sounds like keyboard
Need a lifeline.
smashing, but with mouth words.
I don't see how Siva could infect Savathun. Because wasn't Siva invented by us?
No, by the Warmind, right?
Okay, still, Warmind was invented by us, so by
I
proxy.
could be wrong by that. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't think it was us though.
But like it originates like in our solar system, and she's coming from outside the solar system. How's that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think. I'm just gonna say no. Next question.
All right.
I'm gonna go with not really.
Nice.
Dayman says, do you think Destiny has gotten too complicated? Every season has its own loot system that seems to get more confusing. What happened to looting and shooting?
I mean, it's more looting and
Innovative.
shooting right now. Get your bounty, loot and shoot.
Yeah. I can see how it's definitely more complicated though. Like if you
It's
come to the
definitely is,
game,
yeah.
you're just like, first of all, the Crucible directory. What the hell is going on there? Cut that down, please. We don't need a million game modes. We just don't. Like all the new game modes that they made, I don't know why they just don't. I don't know. Throw it in 6v6. Maybe it doesn't work in 6v6. Who cares? Throw it in there. It's the worst that can happen because it's just rotating. No one cares. And then especially all of like you've got Gambit, you've got Crucible, you've got different planets, you've got different raids on those planets, you've got all these different PvE activities, you've got strikes, Nightfall strikes, which are different, and then Ordeal is different to the Nightfall. It is a lot that you have to learn before you can understand what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of underlying systems too, like
There is,
like
yeah.
all the armor
Champions.
stuff.
The
Yeah,
mods
the
and stuff.
champions. Yeah.
That's all new from when I actually paid attention to things.
And then they change it up every season. Like they add new stuff. And
New mods, yeah.
I don't know if it's gotten too complicated though. Like if you take a little time to understand it, maybe watch a couple YouTube videos. It's not like maybe that's too complicated. Maybe once you have to watch YouTube videos to understand something, maybe that is a line for some people. But for other people, people want things to be complicated. People want to deep dive into stuff.
You look at Warframe. Warframe
Yeah,
is the
That's fair.
like
Yeah.
the de facto of a complicated game.
Yeah.
Having
I
to
wouldn't
spreadsheet
want
it
it to
out.
get that complicated.
Yeah, no, I think there's some things they could cut down, like the Crucible playlist, to make that a little bit more streamlined. Of when you load that up, it's like, oh, I can play this or I could play that, and I know what that means. But overall, there's a lot that the game throws at you, but that also means that you have a lot to do and a lot to work towards and a lot to customize right now, which I think is a good thing. You could say maybe there's too much to do and it's kind of spread out a little bit too far. But yeah, I don't think it's too complicated. It's definitely overwhelming, but any kind of RPG when you first jump into it is very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And this is an RPG light, and so it's not as bad.
I think it comes down to the content being engaging. And if people are, if they're really engaged with the seasonal content, then I think the curve of whatever is being brought in that's new isn't going to be that big of a problem. But if the engagement is low, then they're going to automatically kind of be like, what was going on with this mechanic? I'm not paying attention because I'm playing other games, like it's a fine balance between those two.
And you can totally still play Destiny, just shoot stuff. Like,
yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah.
You can, you really don't have to engage with almost any of the systems. D. Elmer says, when will we get a real Titan rep on the podcast? As soon as we can find one that knows how to use a computer. We're looking.
We did have Pope Bear, and then he literally forgot how to use a computer. And
He
can't
did.
do the podcast
Like,
anymore.
it's true.
Apparently he's been playing on PC though recently.
I find that hard to believe.
I saw him on my friends list, and I was like, "What? Pope's on
I think he's
Steam?
paying for an account recovery. He's covering for it. He's like,
Do you think he's
I'm
paying?
playing on PC, guys.
He might be.
Pope Bear's accuracy is 99% with this revoker. Weird.
Wendigo Stark says, to yeet or not to yeet? As a Titan, the answer is obvious, but what about for the smaller classes?
Situational, right?
I mean, I say if you can, you do, right?
So if it's an option,
pro
always.
Pro yeetery at all
Yeah,
times.
I'm pro yeetery. Sure. Yeah, I'll step on that platform.
Okay.
I'll die on that hill.
I'm neutral in terms of yeetery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When's a bad time to yeet?
Panic
All
attack.
right, you know what? I think that you've sold me. I'm with you now. And yes, okay, maybe the panic attack. Fuck.
Not a good time to eat. Just not it. Not it.
Oh, too real.
The Buck DeLorean says, how many months of quarantine has got to go by before Briar Barbecue becomes a thing?
Yeah, you were reading that last where you're like, Briar Barbecue. Oh.
How many weeks of quarantine?
About before Briar starts barbecuing is not that question.
How many weeks of quarantine?
I will. Yeah.
Well, you see, this is all in relation to the supply lines. If the supply lines go down, then Briar, you're looking pretty tasty, man. All right.
So if
I'm just glad that we're not going to Florida this year because I was seriously like, are these guys going to fuck meet me?
If I can't go to Walmart.com and, secure an order for next day, you might be on the menu. All right.
We should probably talk about that, actually. We kind of forgot to talk about that, but Guardian Con has been canceled for the year. They postponed it to 2021. Yep. If you bought tickets, apparently you can refund them. I guess they're going to charge you 15% off the top, though, for the refund, or you can just keep them and they will be good for 2021.
Yep.
And obviously, with the pandemic going on, like, it's the smart thing that they had to do. It's unfortunate, but the charity stream is going to be in full force, and we're obviously going to try to make that as big as ever, the biggest one possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And this gives us a lot of time to plan a lot of great stuff for next year, because I was working closely with them to make this a much more mindful event this year. We had a lot of really good stuff planned. We were going to do like a communication session where you could actually sit with smaller groups and practice communication with someone like leading some good exercises. We had like yoga and meditation scheduled. It was going to be dope. So
that's cool.
By the time next year rolls around and we're ready to do this, it's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, I was going to streak right through the middle of the convention, but
you got to go streaking through the quad first, man. Through the quad.
Talking about yeeting. You know what I'm saying?
Guess that's not happening. Elusive Pineapple says, what is the best recipe for brownies?
Brownies?
I don't know, but they better have pot in them. That's what I'm saying.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm all about, man. I don't know, man. I've never made recipes from scratch. I literally was just talking with you before we started this about how I got a box of brownie mix and I was excited. Like, fuck it, I haven't done this in a long time.
Yeah. Who makes good brownie mix? Because that's what I'm going with.
There's some good gluten-free brownie mixes. Surprisingly, gluten-free brownies are one of the baked pastries that actually turn out pretty damn good. That a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's gluten-free. Wow, I had no idea." So that's pretty easy. You can get them like Betty Crocker. It's really good, gluten-free.
Really,
yeah.
That's good to know because my man has a gluten sensitivity now.
Yep. Yeah, Betty Crocker's. They even have chocolate chip cookies. Betty Crocker, they're gluten-free, and they're
yes, queen,
delicious.
What a treat! Now I'm excited.
Yeah,
we got oatmeal cookies from Price Chopper, and they were crunchy. They weren't soft. I was really pissed off.
That's not an oatmeal cookie. That's a lie.
No, yeah, you feel like you can trust in a brand like Price Chopper, and then they betray you, and they give you crunchy fucking oatmeal cookies.
Price Chopper.
What brand was that, Brian?
Yeah, what?
Price Chopper.
I don't even know what brand this is.
Price Chopper? Is that like
I don't know what that is. I'm just
that's a grocery store.
Some sort of Massachusetts thing.
Store. Massachusetts. I'm not in Massachusetts.
Connecticut thing. Wherever. Wait, in South Carolina? Is that where you're
at? Briar's not in Massachusetts.
Briar, are you in Florida? You're Floridian.
Yep.
It all makes sense.
Everything. Do you like lemon cookies?
Lemon cookies are delicious. I was
Listen,
unaware of those until
There
recently.
is this brand of lemon cookies. I'll send you the link. I think it's called Dewey's. One of my friends from the community sent me some of these, and they are the softest, most perfect lemon cookies. And I didn't even know I liked lemon cookies. Like little chonkies of lemon all up in them bitches, and they are perfect. And you all deserve them in your lives. So I'll send you the link after this.
So it had
Please
chunks
do.
of lemon? It wasn't like a puree lemon
little
thing?
tiny chunks of lemon in there. Yeah, in these
Whoa.
awesome. Think like the way they felt was very soft, like a fresh sugar cookie.
Yeah, with the lemon
But
on top.
instead of that, it was like a little bit more like a cake with, or like almost even like a brownie kind of consistency.
Hell yeah.
With the little lemons all like in it.
I'm sold.
I would
I'm looking
definitely
at
Yeah.
these cookies. Lemon cookies.
I think they're
Definitely.
called Dewey. Hold on, I'm gonna find out.
I
Dewey.
double checked that they're
I have them on
gluten free,
there.
obviously, but then I'd eat
Dewey.
those cookies.
Just risk it. Risk it.
It's okay, just get sick. You'll recover. Honest.
Everybody's doing it lately. It's have to get
Oh, I found them. I got you. Okay. Here's the link. And listen, the same place makes these little tiny wafer cookies too. That are also really awesome. The little lemon wafer
on
guys.
Amazon.
Yeah. But like these though, holy fuck, they are a mouthgasm.
Oh yeah, there it is. Dewey's lemon bar cookies.
lemon
Yeah.
bars.
Any
That
chance
sounds
they're
great.
gluten free?
I have no idea. If
They are for you.
For this one time.
It's non-GMO, if that helps.
It's a one step towards it.
Dustin Barr says, if you could eliminate the need for something essential in the world, what would it be? He says, besides food and water, he says as an example would be glasses or contact.
Wait, eliminate the need?
Eliminate the need for something.
As in you're not going to use them anymore, or you're not going to have to?
You don't even
like,
need them anymore. Like, there's no reason to have them anymore.
Like you
Nobody
can
needs glasses anymore because everybody's got perfect vision.
don't need money anymore because you got like tons of it.
Everything's
Everything's
Deodorant.
free.
Deodorant. You never have to remember. You don't have to worry about getting like, wild, and sweaty. Like no BO smell, no deodorant needed. Your body
hate
has
deodorant.
adapted and evolved and learned how to not smell bad.
not stink.
Hmm.
I like it. Deodorant gives me like itchy armpits, so I hate using it.
Have you switched it up? Different deodorants?
I have to use
Yeah.
sensitive skin deodorant.
Oh.
I
It's
recently
harder to find
tried
than you
a
might
plant-based
imagine.
one. I recently tried
No,
like
I believe it.
some like, you know,
Plant-based.
yeah, it was like some fancy deodorant. I was like, all right, it's kind of expensive, but I need deodorant. I'll try this instead of my typical Old Spice. And
Yeah.
it gave me like a rash underneath my armpit.
Oh, fuck that. Was it poison ivy plant based?
Something. I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, it smelled worse too. I was like, why do I have more BO after putting this thing on? Because
It's
like my body
actually-
was having a reaction
hard
to
to
it.
find
God.
a good deodorant that doesn't have all the bad stuff in it
What's the bad
because
stuff?
of
Aluminum.
the aluminum, and because that's
The
what like
Pure
blocks
Sport?
the sweat from coming.
Yeah, Pure
Wow.
Sport from Old Spice does not have
Damn, now I
aluminum.
gotta look at my shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
And I prefer an antiperspirant as well.
Yes.
A
deodorant
all-in-one
antiperspirant.
product. Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm always
That's
nervous
where
about
it gets
that.
rough.
Yeah, because
That's
like
where
you're
it gets hard to find with like good ingredients. That's not gonna murder you.
yeah, but also
I
like
didn't know
you're
that they
blocking
were
a
gonna
mechanism
murder
in your
me.
body.
Yeah, but that mechanism can be inconvenient, you know?
True.
Did the body think of that before it inconvenienced me in my life?
Right? That's a good point.
Intelligent
It's really
design.
not very courteous,
Mhm.
the body.
Think of me and all of the light-colored shirts that I wanted to wear.
True.
Yeah, like pit stains, man. That's nobody wants that. We don't want that.
Nobody wants pit stains.
Nope.
No.
Wilvin says, what shows that you haven't seen before are you binging now that we've all boarded into our homes for the plague? Anybody going to try watching every episode of every Star Trek series?
Wow.
I'm playing
No.
video games, my friend. There's so many good video games out right now.
I haven't been binge watching too many things.
I don't
No, but you started talking about Letterkenny before the podcast, and I'm going to start
Oh,
watching
but that's different though. That's a lifestyle. That's my religion.
lifestyle choice.
It's a very different thing than just watching a show. Like, how dare you reduce it to something like that? This is
You're
Letter
either
Kenny
born a
we're talking
Letterkenny
about.
watcher or you're not.
Yeah. Like, y'all need to
Not
get
a
your
choice.
shit together. Get yourselves on Hulu. Watch Letterkenny and educate yourselves. Figure it out. God.
I've heard about this. I need to watch it.
Yes.
I've made
Also,
some
I don't
questionable choices.
I don't find myself having suddenly a ton of time available because I'm still
Well,
practically
for
doing
us,
the
our
same
lives
thing.
haven't
It's
changed that
literally
much,
the
in all
same.
honesty.
Yeah,
It's
most
exactly
I'm
the
still
same.
most of
working
my
really
life
hard.
is still the same pace, and I'm like juggling projects still on the same pace of it.
Yep.
So I don't
Yeah.
technically have suddenly an abundance of time to watch TV. I
My
wish I
wife
did
is
because
around
that sounds
more.
awesome.
Yeah. I have less time too because I've been streaming like almost nonstop. And like trying to put out as much stuff that isn't horrific to read or hear or watch every day, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. I have made some questionable choices though lately.
Who
I did
hasn't?
watch what was the one the don't fuck with cats on Netflix.
Oh,
That was a nightmare hell ride.
I can't do that.
Frankly, I wish I hadn't watched. And I also watched the Tiger King, which was a different kind of nightmare hell ride.
What is up with that show? I haven't seen it yet. Everybody's like, "Oh my
I don't.
god!"
I didn't know anything about it. I said in the pre.
Tiger King.
I said in the
Netflix-
pre-show. I have no idea.
Netflix
No
is
idea.
pushing that thing so hard that every time you finish anything, it's always the recommended. Like
Everybody's
it's always
talking
the
about it, man. Everybody on the internet's
I
pushing
finally
it
just
to me.
gave up. Like I gave
Yeah.
in to Netflix's recommendations, and I watched the first episode, and I was intrigued. I felt like the Tiger King, kind of my people. Like I could get on board with what this guy's throwing down. You know, he seems like a fun guy to spend a weekend with. I wouldn't want to live there, but you know, a fun weekend.
Like,
I have a
But
feeling
it goes
this is about
fucking
crawfish.
crazy. No, it goes.
Oh.
It's all about big cats, like big cat people who have tigers as pets.
Mm-hmm.
they living with them?
It gets crazy, man. No, but there's a lot of polygamy. There's murder. There is murder for
Tiger
hire.
owning, polygamous, murdering people. Is he a
Seeing as
Florida
everyone
man?
seems to be.
I was
into,
just gonna say this is Florida.
so
Right?
it's a documentary about Florida.
Yeah.
Show about Florida.
Okay.
At what point
Then
are
I
they
started
selling and
watching
cooking
a show
meth?
called. Yeah. Oh, there's definitely meth.
Okay.
Then I started watching a show called Hunting Hitler, which they think that
Yeah.
Hitler did not die. He did not commit suicide in 1945, as the history says, that he actually escaped. And it's been 3 seasons of them finding zero evidence to support this. And yet I continue to watch.
Like the flat earthers, and they're like, "Huh, that laser didn't hit the thing in there." Huh.
Oh
Like,
my
This is
God.
strange.
They got a good crew of people who do a lot of cool stuff. And they talk a lot about some cool stuff, like what did happen to all those Nazis after World War II.
It is interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting, but they have found zero goose egg evidence in any form. They have said, well, here's a house in Argentina. Hitler could have gone here.
Apparently, a lot of the
Evidence.
Nazis went to Argentina, right?
A lot of them did.
Families are still super racist. Weird.
Yeah, true enough.
And apparently Elvis might still be alive, shaking the blue, the blue suede boots, the shoes. He's got blue suede boots now.
You can't prove he's not alive.
Nope.
And
But it's
Disney
one of
on
those things
Ice.
that
I mean,
a lot of these shows like this struggle with is that the lack of evidence therefore supports their theory.
You know,
And
it's
it's not
crazy
how
'cause, like,
truth works.
you see that stuff exactly. And like I was talking to my friend Tupac about this the other day, and it's just
Shakur,
wild how
obviously.
much people buy into that stuff. Obviously, yeah. I mean, you know, he thinks it's crazy too that people believe all this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the wildest conspiracy theory, and then it got me thinking because it was like I said Disney on Ice because there was this thing about Walt Disney being frozen, right? And he's on
Yeah.
ice.
That's why they made
So then-
Frozen.
yeah.
So when you
Well,
look
no,
up
no.
Disney Frozen,
First it was Disney on Ice because people were searching Disney on Ice, and they're like, okay, well, we got to make Disney on Ice. We got to make all the shows, It's like, and then we're like, is Walt Disney frozen? Disney frozen. Then they made Frozen.
Oh Oh my god.
And I'm like,
no.
God, that is crazy. And I don't want to be a crazy person and start believing things like that. But it really adds up.
You can't discount the crazy people because they
Briar
do.
has a screwdriver now. I'm scared.
Yeah.
Screwdrivers are healthy for you. Have a lot of vitamin C, a little alcohol. Facts. I've been told screwdrivers are great for you in the modern times. You can't just discount the crazy people altogether because they do find about stuff like MK Ultra and like the U.S. government giving the population of the United States like venereal diseases on purpose. Like this shit does actually happen.
And the fact that birds aren't real, they're just government drones.
I've heard that's true.
I think we're gonna have to talk about
birds aren't real.
There.
Get woke, people.
we need to
wake up, sheeple.
To get as a DCP conspiracy podcast. I think.
Oh man.
I think that's the next iteration. That's where we're going.
Oh,
I'm excited about it.
So yeah, don't be too hard on the conspiracy theorists, but also don't believe everything they say.
Yeah.
Don't believe anything anyone says.
Fact check.
Yeah, I got on board with maybe the Sphinx is older than the pyramids, and then I heard a guy who said no, it can't be because the rock that they mined out of here they used right over here, and it has the same exact amount of weathering, and it was used in the pyramid. Oh, well, that clears that up.
Yeah, but
okay.
does it?
Wilvid says, nope, never mind. Gospel of Goose says, aside from the Destiny franchise, what's your most recent favorite time sink?
I mean, so Animal Crossing is a time sink.
Are you playing a lot of Animal Crossing, Watts?
Yes, Tomo got me a Switch so I could play.
Have you sold your soul to Tom Nook?
He gave me a house. I don't have to pay him. I can just live there. I
after those
never
bells.
I could never pay him back. I could keep all those bells to myself.
Loan it out to somebody else. Start owning them.
I could, exactly.
Just become Tom Nook.
I could become Tom Nook.
Yeah.
If I wanted to.
You could buy him out.
Tammy Nook.
Tammy Tom Nook. Netflix special.
Monster Hunter World. Amazing. Genshin Impact. Gonna talk about that on Monday.
Is that actually out now officially?
No, it's in closed beta.
That's what I thought because I was jealous. I was I want to play that.
Content creator program.
Nice.
That's right.
That game looks really cool.
It's amazing. It really is.
What is it? I've never heard of it.
It is an action RPG that was created with Breath of the Wild as a big inspiration. But instead of Breath of the Wild characters, you have lots of anime girls with boob physics.
With boob physics?
Physics.
Are they at least of age or are they all like 13?
They're all probably 5,000 years old. So.
Ancient.
A lot of them
as old as the pyramids.
are of age.
Yeah, as
a
old
lot
as
of them.
The pyramids. And
I haven't seen any of the big boobies on little girls, so there we go.
All right, that's good.
Everything's fine.
I would like 100% on this, to be honest.
No, it's great. It's heavily focused around elements, so you use different elements to fight enemies. You have to kind of like Pokemon, but you can also combine elements, so you can switch between your various different anime girls that you love and put the elements together. It's great. It's amazing.
For some mega anime girl?
Mega anime
jiggle?
girl element.
I'm in.
Remember when they were making those volleyball games? What was those? They were based on the fighting game? Dead or Alive
Volleyball?
Oh my God. That's hilarious. Did they stop making those? Actually, they might be still making those.
I'm sure they're still making them. Come on.
Probably, right?
Right?
People like boobs, it turns out. Huge fans. Well, a lot of people do. It's around 50%, I'd say.
Everyone
does.
Appreciates boobs. Like, even if you don't, pop a little wee when you see them, like they're beautiful. Don't lie, boobs are amazing.
That's what I'm calling that from now on.
Yeah.
Pop a little wee.
If you don't go 6 to midnight, if nothing gets a little moist in your nethers, you still cannot deny that titties are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The Mohican 9 says, what are you most eager to do after quarantine? What are you looking forward to the most once it's all over? Once it's safe?
Hugging my family.
That is a big one, actually. I was going to go jokes on this, but seeing my mom again would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with that too. Just
Yeah.
having
All right, second best.
having a cookout.
Second best.
Being able to order a 2-hour delivery from Whole Foods would be great.
Yeah, going out for a nice long dinner.
That's really it for me. Is I just want to go out.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have
that's
this
the
problem.
vibe. I like sitting out for nice dinners. Like I like a good few hours of snacking on appetizers and cocktails and
drinks and laughing and
That does sound
joking
great.
around.
No laughter at my meals.
What the fuck? I like to laugh. Like the fucking deal.
Silence.
All right, fine. All right. You can come.
Grow up in Argentina? What the hell's going on?
I see what you did there.
Sith Assassin says, no one on the show except for Briar recognized the 3 seashells from the awesome Demolition Man movie. What great 90s movies do you suggest people should see that may not be so mainstream? And why is one of them Army of Darkness? Army of
Hold
Darkness
on. When did Waterworld come out?
Oh, that had to be the 90s.
That was late 90s, right?
Yeah.
I feel like everyone needs to watch that just so that you can like learn that sometimes in life things don't make sense, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay.
Just roll with it.
I don't think
And
that's the
find
takeaway
someone
they
with long,
expected you to get from
ridiculous
that
hair.
movie.
I think we should
No, that's
probably
Further
what they
viewing would
were
be
going
Postman.
for.
The Postman with Kevin Costner as well.
I think we should roll it all the way back to that conversation earlier about have you ever seen Hackers? Yes, I know how to hack. You know, you
Hackers,
get your
yeah,
knowledge from
yeah.
Hackers. Wasn't that 90s? I'm pretty sure
We're
that was
trashing
90s.
our rights.
Yeah, I think it was.
Angelina Jolie was in it, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was Big Trouble in Little China the 80s or the 90s? That might have been the 80s.
I do not watch movies.
What
You
about a
watch
Goofy
movies all the
movie?
time, but they got to be cartoons.
In that case,
I don't watch
does that count?
Yeah, I feel like all the movies I like were pretty well known. Like, you know, Fern Gully. Fern Gully's great.
I loved
That's a
Fern
90s movie, isn't it?
I have no
I
idea.
have no idea when did Fern Gully come out?
We're going to
Fern-
include it.
Fern,
We'll just
everyone
count it.
knows
Fuck
about
it.
Calling
Fern
audible.
Gully.
We're counting it.
Gully.
Certain 80s movies also are
1992.
included, like
Counts.
Never Ending
Fuck yeah.
Story. We'll include that for the
1992.
90s. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
The Matrix movies just got released on Netflix in 4K.
True.
They still
Which
hold
you
up,
should-
man.
The first one does. The second one was, and the third one were not great.
Maybe I shouldn't have generalized because I did only watch the first one again recently, and I was like, "Hey, good job, way to go! You've really done something here."
Sith Assassin says, what kind of toilet paper is every? You like the double ply, triple ply, ripples, no ripples?
Dude,
Bonded?
listen,
It's gotta be
people
soft.
when they come to my house, like sometimes they talk shit because no pun intended. Because like ever since I was little, my parents always got like Scott tissue, like the really thin stuff. Because it lasts really long. And when we have a lot of people over all the time, like you need something that doesn't run out every 2 seconds and it's septic friendly. So like I've been using that for forever. But it's like almost it's almost like negative ply, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but I still
I
use
feel
it.
like I just got to use more if it's like thin like that.
Yeah, I just give it like an extra tiny little fold. Like you don't really it's still strong, you know. You don't need that much if you're not like aggressively going to town and stuff.
I'm an aggressive wiper.
You're an aggressive wiper.
Yeah, good candidate for a bidet with all that wiping.
Dude, everyone should have a bidet. We all need squatty potties and bidets. Why do we not advocate more for people to poop easier and you know, be able to wipe their buttholes better?
Agreed.
My mind was blown when I got one of those. I didn't get one. We had a step stool so the kids could get into the tub, and I'm like, let me just slide that over here, put my feet up while I'm doing my business. I'm like, oh hey, this really makes the whole operation much smoother.
It really does.
Like feet up.
There's a whole industry. Yeah, feet up. Yeah, on a stool.
Yeah, like
wonderful.
like you just elevate them up ever so slightly, and like, you know, if you're not like hunched over gargoyling over like your cell phone on the toilet, if you're just like sitting there and you have your legs slightly elevated, the poop is just like, it's my time, and it like comes running out. It's
Olympic
just
diver.
ready.
Try not to make a splash.
For real. Yes, it's so helpful, and you like feel your body aligning properly.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's surprising. It's like
Yeah.
you wouldn't think, but it's real.
Yeah. You all deserve the satisfaction of a very easy poop. Like for real, people hurt
True.
themselves pooping. You can
It's
strain
insane.
too much. You should be a little more in
Fiber.
tune with your body and like elevate your
some fiber.
leggies, maybe check your diet. Yeah. And then like have easy poops. You deserve them.
Ringo the Dingo. Okay, so this one's a little weird. I usually don't pick questions that single like a single person out unless they're the guest. But I like this one, so I'm gonna make Tefty answer it.
We'll see about that.
All right, Tefty, you're the vocal coach for The Voice, and the
Okay.
DCP is your team.
Okay.
Which song would you let each of them perform?
As a trio?
Yeah, well, I think in each person on this podcast, you're gonna have to pick a song for.
Give us a song.
Huh.
Yeah,
Let's see.
You're trying to win, so you're trying to make us look good.
Yes.
All right. Briar, you're singing Back in Black. Okay.
All right, I like it.
Watts, you're going to sing the Neverending Story song.
No.
Wow.
Good.
Let's see. Snaps. What's a really famous Bob Dylan song?
I don't know.
I'm feeling something Bob Dylan. All
So,
right.
someone chat put a Bob Dylan song in chat.
Is it Mbop? Is that?
Oh yeah, that's classic.
You wanna
Dylan. That was
do
in his
Hansons?
electric age, right? That's
Dude,
after he
okay,
went
so
electric.
this is like a random stupid story. When my brother and I were younger, we practiced making up ridiculous stories about each other that we would tell people, comment on in front of our friends. And he one day like came up to me out of nowhere and just handed me a plunger when we had like a bunch of people over. And I was like, "What is this, bro? What's this all about?" And he's like, "Oh, you remember how you said that you really needed one of these because you kept clogging the toilet?" And like that didn't happen. He got me, right? It was a good one. So the next time that his friends were over, I was like putting away the mop and like recognized that the head of the mop like comes off. And I was like he was in the other room and I kind of like whispered a little quieter. I was like, "Man, one day I walked in on my brother wearing this on his head and he was dancing around in the living room to Mbop. I think he really wants to be in Hanson." And they actually like believed me. And it was just like you remember Tifu's dreads? Like it looks basically just like that.
I got your song.
Oh God.
Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan.
Okay.
There you go. That's good.
Rolling Stone. You know, I can't do the Bob Dylan voice, but you know.
Not
In
with
your
that
own
attitude.
artistic stylings, okay?
Okay.
There you go.
I'll play it on the theremin.
I also learned
Nice.
today that I want to hang out with Snaps' brother more often because he sounds like he's a fun guy.
Oh, he is. All of my brothers and sisters are fucking weirdos. It's great.
Celestine051 says, "What is the most creative method or any item that you've created to smoke?"
I don't know if I don't think I have any like unique ones here. Maybe I had like a school bus toy once in my room that like it was like some old school one, and for whatever reason I saved it. My brother turned that into a bong when we were younger, and that was cool. I watched him use an old fish tank, like repurpose it and turn it into a gravity bong. That was fascinating. I
bong.
still don't even remember how it fucking worked. Honestly, I just remember being very.
Well, it must have worked,
confused.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm all that creative. Like we've all done the apple, we've all done the foil. I saw online that you could use a pack of Starburst. You just like unwrap them, stick
interesting.
them together, and like drill a hole in them.
Hmm.
And I already said an apple. Yep, that's
Wait,
it.
you're actually using the candy itself?
You're using the fucking candy itself.
Oh,
You
that
unwrap
sounds
them.
delicious.
Is this some sort of like TikTok that went
and
viral or
put
something?
like one on top. No, this was before TikTok. But you just like put one extra one on the end and like dig the nice little tunnel there, and apparently it works. Have not had the opportunity though.
That does sound delicious.
I think I have any answers for this, really.
Yeah, I have nothing creative to say about that.
Former Guardian says, when you eat a string cheese, do you string it as intended, like an upstanding human being, or do you bite it off and eat it whole, like a deranged animal who has no respect for the cheese or the unsuspecting civilian who might witness this crime and be scarred for life?
No, I peel that.
I peel it. I do peel it.
I have a lot of experience in this area.
Bites it off at the end, and it makes me cry inside every time I see it. Like, I feel like that's only something that somebody who's lost all the joy of life, and their inner child has been beaten down and is now dead. That's the only kind of person who bite it at the end.
See, this is all about frame of reference, okay? If you are in a hurry, if you need to have that snack and get going,
you gotta peel it.
No, the peeling takes time. You have to like.
No matter what.
If you are in that big a hurry, something else in your life has broken down to get you to that point that you now have to be an animal and not peel your string cheese.
Yeah, bro.
You need to reevaluate your entire fucking existence at this point and figure out, why am I so fucking late that I cannot enjoy my life?
Yep. Yeah, respect the string cheese, bro. If you're running late, you're not gonna grab a crab leg and like stomp on it on the ground and just be like, "Oh, I have no choice. I'm running
but a crab
late."
leg is
you don't
a
eat
meal.
That snack, then, bro. You don't eat that. No, it can be a snack. It's just one.
No, you see, cheese stick is a quick snack. It's supposed to be a snack. It's a grab and go.
No,
it's like
not.
comes in its own container.
It's string cheese. Get a grip. Yeah. String cheese. Get a grip.
Get a different type of cheese. Tefty.
Right. Yeah.
Not a string cheese.
Get some fucking cheese curds, bud.
But they're in a nice little package. You just be like,
so are cheese curds a lot of times. You just plop them little fucks in. Then you don't have to insult anyone.
I'm in California,
their
not
poor
Wisconsin.
little
Come on
eyeballs. Now. You can still, there's cheese curds somewhere out there. They exist. I don't.
I have eaten it both ways on stream. I have noticed some people get a little upset when I'm chomping it.
Yeah, man. We're not upset because you're doing something wrong. We're upset that something has gone so wrong in your life that you now feel the need to bite a cheese stick.
I'm
man.
playing a video game. I'm not
feel
pulling
bad for
strings.
We're looking out for you.
I'm playing the video game on the internet. I can't be taking my time being like this chat. 1 second chat. I need to take my time and like only focus on this cheese.
Get a banana, you fucking monster.
Yeah.
I'll eat carrots too. Bananas, carrots, great.
Sometimes eat a damn cheese pudding cup or something, bro. Get yourself a snack pack.
Listen, I'm gonna eat pineapple pizza and chomp it down on string cheese all day long because I don't care.
Wow. I hope someone poops in your Lunchables. Whichever one's your favorite, it's done. Deuce done.
Last question of the night. When's the last time you guys actually had a Lunchable? Do you guys remember?
long
It's been
time.
a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Long time.
I got kids, so it's been like a week for me.
Wait, which kind was the last one that you had though?
It had crackers, ham, and cheese, and little Teddy Grahams as a dessert.
Nice.
It's delightful.
I feel like as streamers, we should be eating more Lunchables. It seems like the perfect stream snack food.
Did you make?
No,
they make hot
go your own route though.
That is true.
Hot, like what? Like the pizza ones?
Yeah, you gotta microwave them.
I never microwaved the pizza ones.
You ate the pizza ones cold?
I just liked them. They weren't cold. I didn't pull it out of a fridge or anything. They were like carried it to school in my bag and snacked on it kind of thing.
Briar's disappointed.
Listen, don't judge me when we have a fucking string cheese biter in our midst.
I'm gonna pick my battles.
I'm gonna pick my battles. Yeah. Remember who the real fucking enemy is here, all right? And it's not me.
Last question. Hugo Rune 79 says, if you had a finger that could cure COVID-19, but only if you pushed it hard up the sufferer's anus, would you cure anyone, everyone, or be like Jesus and just cure a few? That's a hard
listen,
take
how
on
long?
Jesus.
How long do you have to keep the finger up in their butt? Like, there's a lot of things I feel like I would need to know on this, but like,
Let's
not that I
assume it's
know because
quick.
I'm not a sinner, but like hypothetically, so I've heard from a friend, it's pretty easy to get a finger in a butt. Like, that's a pretty quick process. If all you got to do is just walk down the line, just have them all
line it up.
ready and spread, and just boop, boop, boop,
Bend them
boop,
and spread
boop.
them.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'm already like kind of
You're
like
welcome.
hand
You're
washer.
welcome.
Like I don't like after I pet a dog, I gotta immediately go and wash my hands, right? I don't like having dirty hands. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna like love
If they're all
having
lined up in
asshole
100
all
in a
over
row.
my finger.
I imagined there was gloves involved, but maybe that's not an option
The
for
ointment
this. Either
that
way,
excretes from your finger, because apparently you have a magic finger, probably would get
Wait, there's
blocked.
It
ointment?
cleanses you as well.
why
It
does it
cleans
have to
you.
squirt ointment? Why couldn't? Why did it
It's
have
a magic
to get
finger. You got to
gross?
apply some sort of
More
science behind this.
gross.
You gotta squirt midichlorians at your finger? What the fuck?
I mean, is it just the mere presence of your finger in an ass that's
Yeah,
like
it's a
suddenly
magic
going to
finger.
heal them?
Yes. It's
Well,
like
then
the
I say
fucking
you
key
talk
in
to
the
Tony
lock,
Stark.
man.
And you get them to harness the technology at your finger, and then have the governments buy it, and boom, you become rich.
You know what, man? Be realistic. We're talking about putting magic fingers up buttholes here, and you have to bring in a fictional character.
Exactly.
Get a grip.
That's my. And
I think
he's
that
going to be
is-
biting on the damn cheese stick the
There's
whole
gonna
time.
be no ass play to scare you from Tefty. We're all dying. Tefty's gonna watch.
That's true. Tefty will not be putting his finger in your butt to cure you.
Be like, that's a hard pass.
Sitting there watching the news with his finger up his butt.
Guess I'll be watching, paying the news. See who's got the cure.
I'm not gonna like it, but I guess I'll stick my finger up your butt.
I feel like the whole I'm not gonna like it is really like covering for something, because none of us felt the need to say I wouldn't like doing this.
This is going to be a rough
don't
position.
like having dirty hands. I got nothing against people's butts. I just don't like having shit on my hands.
Briar,
Are you
Okay.
going to?
this
Got
is the
it.
same person who opens doors with his ass.
Yeah, man.
That's
ever
because I
think
like
about
having
all
clean
those-
hands.
all those
That was the
door
same
knobs?
conversation.
So when you say with his ass, I feel
Yeah.
like there's some clarification that needs to
Literally,
happen
think
here.
about him
'Cause the
leaping towards the
picture-
door, spreading cheeks, it going into the anus, and he somehow doing a 180 physically, and then popping off, and that's how the door
Whizzle.
gets opened. Yeah,
Whizzles the door.
yeah, he
open.
whizzles the door open. Yeah. Yeah, like the
Oh,
full
okay.
sequence, full lunge. In fact, there might be
Okay.
structural damage to the door by the end of it, but at least no hands were involved.
Yeah, I mean, at least he keeps his hands clean, and
Just no one
Yeah,
else's
that-
hands will be clean, but that's
that
okay.
mental picture was wonderful. I was really like, I had to sit back for a second to like fully process that and imagine it. And I'm like, okay, so it's like a torquing motion. Like there's
Well,
some
yeah,
like quick
Let me
movement
add to
that
it
needs
by giving you the pre-grab spread imagery.
Yeah,
Mm.
you have a backwards run, right?
But wait a minute, hold on. How tall are you? I don't remember how tall
He's
you
very
are.
tall.
I don't know where your butt is in relation to this.
It's
Like
about
most-
doorknob height.
Okay, cool. So this is how it's figured out. I didn't know if
Sometimes
you were gonna
maybe
have
a
to,
little
like-
tippy toe.
You know, like is this a run backwards and jump kind of
Yeah,
situation?
exactly.
Like, does
It
your
depends on
timing
the
have to be
doorknob,
right?
honestly. Some
Mm,
It's
doorknobs
like
are.
space station docking kind of stuff. Like you got to be real fucking precise.
Well, you don't want to fuck it up, that's for sure.
Definitely don't.
You don't want to suffer the consequences.
Oh my god.
It's not a fun hospital visit.
Oh my gosh, ridiculous.
Yeah, crystal doorknob in your ass, sir.
Oh my god.
Not the crystal.
And then you explain that exact thing how you're running at it.
The good crystal.
That's definitely the thing to be concerned about here. The crystal doorknob, not the mindset of the man who lunged himself backwards at it.
So that was the last question?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, that's one to end on.
Ended on a high note, I think.
Quite the series of questions right there. Well, that
That's
is,
your weekend's destiny right there.
yeah. We got her
Welcome
summed
to
up right
the
there.
Pinnacle Destiny podcast, where you learn about
That's only because
crystals.
everybody else quit.
Oh man. Well, yes, that is episode 182 of DCP. Thank you very much for watching and getting educated on these various exotic topics throughout our lives that are clearly relevant right now, right? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Snaps, where can people find you?
Actually, real quick,
Mm-hmm.
you know what could be done? Briar's technique of opening doors is actually a really good idea for right now. So you might want to give it a try.
I think you're going to spread a lot of Ebola. No.
It sounds like she's
E.
going to spread a
coli.
lot of
That's
chicken
what it is.
Ebola in your butt?
My bad. I mistook Ebola for E. coli.
Oh my god.
I'm not a doctor.
Definitely not curing Tefty with my magic finger. Cures COVID, end up with Ebola. Trying to do something nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to give you a little extra wiggle while I was in there too.
True friendship right there.
Oh man. So, Snaps, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh my gosh, washing my hands a lot after this conversation for sure. On the internet, Mind of Snaps is like all my social media, putting out positivity podcasts daily since the last 2 weeks. Got another week ahead of me. And then Twitch streams are twitch.tv/shesnaps. Woo!
What's your stream schedule like?
I've been on 7 days a week lately, and I'm doing 2 to 7-ish. We've been doing a nightly meditation at 6:45, like around there. But there are some days where I've
Nice.
been getting kind of like lost in the sauce, fucking around in Destiny, and it gets pushed back by like half an hour to an hour. But that's pretty consistent. 2 o'clock Central Time to about 7, 8 o'clock.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, very cool. Watts?
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
Briar?
Same as all that, but just put in Briar Rabbit instead.
Perfect.
Oh man. I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter and catch my streams. Twitch.tv/Tefty Teft, where I don't think I'll be playing Trials because I don't want to experience well, you know. I mean, maybe. We'll see.
Come to console, Tefty. Let's do a DCP get together on console. The Church of Unlimited Frames goes
I haven't
to third.
played
Think of the
controller
content.
That would
in
be actually
so
pretty fun.
long.
It'll
It
be
would.
I've
hilarious.
still been playing controller.
I
hilarious.
think I would feel even more drunk. I'd feel super
It would be
intoxicated.
hilarious. That is why it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be hilarious. So yeah, you can catch
I'll
my
be
streams.
I guess it depends on your perspective.
I'm also looking forward to Resident Evil 3, playing that. I was playing Ori as well, Ori and the Will and the Wisps, and it's pretty fantastic. So yeah,
I've heard good things about that.
Mm-hmm. Special magical journey that will tug at your heartstrings at times in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Did you play Blind Forest already?
No, I didn't. I totally ignored your recommendation of playing the first game, and I said, "Screw you, Briar! I'm playing the second one."
So it's appropriate.
Yeah.
He said as he bit into like a stack
I was
of
like,
cheese sticks.
"Screw you, cheese dick, and screw you, Briar! I'm playing the
He had,
second
like,
one first."
6 of them.
And guess
Oh,
what?
that's
I'm
what
not
you're
touching no
for, buddy.
doorknobs. All right. Well, that's the show, right, guys?
That is the show.
Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you're here live on Twitch or catching us on YouTube, appreciate all the support. And shout out to all of our audio podcast listeners. Hopefully we have brightened your day in some way with all the craziness that's going on in the world. Yeah.
Ass
Ass.
believers.
Ass believers. Right.
Happy 420 month.
Happy 420 month.
We'll see you next time for another show. Bye, everyone.
Bye.